Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Lindsay. If you're new here, welcome to A Person's Haven. We are in the kitchen today. We are just about to make supper, and then I'm hoping to get a batch of salsa canned tonight before I go to bed. Before we get started with that, I just wanted to pop on and talk about some things that I just got at Walmart. So, my husband and I, since COVID, have been using Walmart pickup or Walmart delivery because it saves us tons and tons of money. We typically buy what we need, put it in the cart, have it delivered or pick it up, and we're not prone to buy other things like the new Oreos that are on the shelf or the cool little sugar cookies that they have for every holiday. So by doing the Walmart pickup, we have saved money. Lately, I've been going into Walmart to get our prescriptions. And while in Walmart one time, I decided I'm just going to get our groceries at the same time. And I stumbled upon the discounted food cooler as well as the discounted bakery rack. And now every time I go into Walmart, I go from the pharmacy over to the discounted cooler and then to the bakery rack and leave. So the majority of the time, our main staple foods are still being delivered to us, and I only go in for pharmacy and clearance. And it's kind of blown my mind because we have been shopping full price for everything since COVID. And as you all know, food prices are getting crazy high. So I just wanted to show you guys what I found today in the clearance area and kind of go through things that we might be doing with them. So first of all, the main thing I went to the store for was these. Mrs. Wage's mild salsa. So this is how I make my salsa. I know it's a cheating method, but it is how I make my salsa. I put in the tomatoes like it says in the vinegar, but I also add additional peppers to it to make it more chunky. And this has never done me wrong. So this is what I went for. I had to go to L&M for this, which is our local tractor supply store, because Walmart didn't have these. And while in L&M, I decided, hey, you might as well get some jerky seasoning because it's close to hunting season. We need to start cleaning out our freezer so we can make room for the new. And what better way than making up some jerky? So I got us some jerky seasoning. So those were the things I went for. And then I went to Walmart to get the prescription. And while at Walmart, I found a package of keto culture hamburger buns. So many of you who have been watching have heard me mention that my husband and I try to eat less carbs in our lives. I do not consider us keto by any means, but if we have an option to substitute with something, we are trying hard to do that, whether it be a lettuce wrap, a protein wrap, or flatbread, or whatever it is, or buying the keto versions of buns and breads. Honestly, we have not bought a loaf of bread probably since wintertime, and we are now in September. So we really kind of have cut a bunch of stuff out. But originally, this package of buns is $6.32. We paid $3.22. The expiration date, Best Buy, is 9/22. It's 9/15, so they're not even expired. The only reason I think that they were discounted is because they look like they kind of got roughed up a little bit, and they're not nicely packaged with 4 on top, 4 on the bottom. But when I saw this price, I had to buy it. And if there was other ones there as well, I would have bought those, because almost half price for a bun that you're paying over $6 for is amazing. Which is why we don't buy them very often, because they're very expensive. The next thing I found on the discount rack was pita breads from the company Joseph's. So if you can see here. So Joseph's pita bread, this is a heart-friendly one. My sister uses the Joseph's pita bread and Joseph's flatbreads all the time and loves them. So originally this one was, if I'm doing the math correctly, $3.27 roughly, and we paid $1.57. I ended up buying 3 of those, and I will probably end up freezing 2 and keeping 1 out for meals. And then the last thing I bought was Joseph's Lavish bread. So this is another bread that my sister has used multiple times. She raves about it. This one originally, if my math is correct, was $3.67 roughly. I paid $1.56 for this package as well, and I ended up buying 3 of those. If you look at the price of this one, it does say Best Buy $9.18, which is all of these Joseph products. The pita breads do say Best Buy $9.17. So I'm not really sure why they got discounted. They're not old yet. They don't seem like they have mold or anything crazy on them, but I got them. And there was more there, and I may go back and buy the rest of them if I decide I like them. We have not tried them yet. My husband and I have not, but my sister raves about these. So I think it's probably a good bet that we're going to like them. The whole point of this little intro is, had I not started going back into stores, I would never be able to find these deals. And if you are someone who is trying to eat healthier or stick to a certain diet or change your lifestyle, you know it's expensive, you know it's hard. So if you can find little wins like this simply by walking across the store, as long as you can resist the other temptations, I think it's totally worth it, because in the end, it's going to end up saving you tons of money. With all that being said, let's transition and make some supper for us and then get started on the salsa. Okay, guys, so the first part of our supper tonight is going to be a cucumber salad. I have 5 cucumbers from my garden, and I'm not 100% sure if this guy is edible, so we're going to give it a try. But I am going to peel them all and slice them all and put them in a bowl. But as I'm looking at this, I think I need a bigger bowl. So let me grab a bigger bowl. And I don't have any happy medium sizes, so bigger the better, I guess. Well, it still smells like a cucumber, even though it's orange on the outside. And I do have my garbage can right here on the floor. So I am just going to peel them right into the trash can. Maybe. There we go. So I was hoping to be able to can pickles this year, but my cucumber plant had other plans for me. I have eaten 2 cucumbers, I believe, off of the plant this year, and that's all I got is 5 more other than those 2. And if I remember correctly, I do not believe I have any flowers out there or any cucumbers. So this is probably all we're going to get, which is fine. We'll eat them as a salad fresh and enjoy them that way. But I was hoping to be able to preserve some. We also have already had frost up here, so that could have stunted our cucumber growth. I did, so this cucumber is soft. I do believe he got some frostbite when the frost was. I did cover the plants, but they still got a little frost to them. So funny thing is I actually did not like cucumbers probably up until 2 or 3 years ago. I grew up disliking cucumbers. I did not like cucumber salad. I did not like refrigerator pickles because you could still taste the cucumber taste through the pickling seasoning. And refrigerator pickles are usually sweet, and I don't like sweet pickles. But I decided to try them again a couple years ago, and I realized that I do actually like them. Sometimes they don't like me. They give me heartburn sometimes. But overall, I was surprised that I actually liked the cucumbers. So if you can see here, that brown stuff, that's not dirt. I believe that is where the frost got to the cucumbers. And that's what that other one looked like as well. And this end is soft as well. So we're going to get rid of that end. I have had cucumber salad at people's houses where they leave the peels on. So it's really just preference. For me, I prefer the peel off. And that's how I do it. This brand of cucumber that I planted this year in the garden was pickling cucumbers. But as you can see, if you let a pickling cucumber grow too long, it will get super fat. So no pickles for us this year, which is okay. We will be okay without them. If we need some, I will buy some at the store. But we really don't eat that much pickles. My mother-in-law did pickle a bunch last year. She had a few successes and then a few not successes. Some of her pickles came out super mushy. I'm the type of person that still eats it anyway, so I figured out ways to use it, whether it was in a Big Mac sauce or, made a relish to put on top of something. All right, so next you're just going to slice your cucumbers however thickness you want. We usually do ours about that thickness. I don't know if you can see. But I'm just going to slice them and throw them in the bowl. I have also actually had this cucumber salad with tomatoes in the cucumber salad and onions and cucumbers. And that also was pretty delicious as well. One thing I did notice, this is the guy that was orange, and his flesh is super white. He still tastes like a cucumber, though. He is awfully seedy, though, and the seeds are awfully juicy. All right, the next thing I'm going to add to our salad is some onion. I know you're probably thinking, hey, I thought onions bother you. Well, I tried a sandwich last night with a little bit of onion, and it did not bother me. So my theory is I might just be overdoing the onion. So I'm going to put onion in this salad because, to me, you can't make cucumber salad without onion. And even if I don't eat the onion that's in there, it will still have the flavor. And my husband will enjoy eating the onions. Alright, so I am just going to do that much onion, which was probably 3/4 of an onion. I used some last night for my sandwich. And then the next thing we have to do is make our salad dressing to go on this. So stick around, let me go gather a few things, and I will be back. Alright, for the sauce that goes on these creamy cucumbers, you use Miracle Whip. My husband and I have tried using Hellmann's mayonnaise, and it does not taste the same. So we are going to stick with Miracle Whip, even though the sugar content of this is higher than the mayonnaise. You do need sugar itself for this recipe. You need milk, and you need some form of vinegar. I'm choosing apple cider vinegar tonight. You could use white vinegar. You could use malted vinegar. You could really use whichever one you wanted. The last thing that you need, I do a mason jar. I use an old lid, and I have to go find myself a ring so I can screw on the top. All right, so I got that ring. So how I was taught is it's always going to be a 1:1:1:1 ratio. So if I'm doing one of these, I'm doing 1 sugar, 1 milk, 1 vinegar, and then you shake it and see how it tastes. For this amount of cucumbers, I would say I'm probably going to start with 3 or 4 scoops of the Miracle Whip. I'm probably going to do 4. So 4 scoops of that Miracle Whip. I get a separate spoon for sugar and do 4 sugars. Missed some of that sugar. And then I take my spoon from the Miracle Whip and use it for the wet ingredients. There's 1, 2, 3, and 4. And I'm definitely making a mess on my floor. And then 4 for the milk. 1, 2, 3, and 4. All right, and then I'm going to put this lid on. and shake it up. All right, how I was always taught to taste it is just taste the lid. So I definitely need some salt and pepper. So let's add that and shake it again. I also don't think everything is fully incorporated yet. It's a little too sweet, so I'm going to add a little splash of vinegar in there and shake it again. That's much better. I can't tell you for sure what it's supposed to taste like. It's just one of those things, if you know, you know. I like mine a little tangy with the subtle sweetness underneath, and that's definitely what this is. So let's pour it into our cucumbers. All right, and you just mix it up. I probably should have cut these big ones in half. They're pretty difficult to stir, but it's all right. All right, so if you look at these, the sauce is covering, but if you look at the very bottom, there's a lot on the bottom, and that's usually how these cucumbers go. So I'm going to set this in the fridge, let them marinate a little bit while I move on to our pork chops. All right, everybody, so we are going to head outside right now. We have to get our grill ready because we are going to be grilling our pork chops. All right, everybody, so we have the grill started, as you saw, and we are going to open our pork chops here and get them on our tray. I have foil on my tray mainly because once I put them on, I will pull the foil off, throw it out, and then use that tray again to put the finished pork chops on. So these pork chops came from a hog that my husband and I purchased. We purchased a whole hog about 2 years ago, and we really have enjoyed having that meat in our freezer and not having to worry about purchasing meat during our regular grocery pickups. The other thing that's a positive to doing meat this way is that whatever the market price of that hog was 2 years ago is the same market price as the hog is today. So we are going to grab some seasoning, get it seasoned up, and we will get it out on the grill. Okay, so for seasonings, we are going to do 2 different seasonings. I'm going to make 2 of one flavor, 2 of the other. The first seasoning we are doing is porchetta seasoning. I don't know if you can see that little label there. This is a seasoning that we got at a local grocery store where we live. And my husband really likes this seasoning. So this is going to be the seasoning I use for his pork chops. All right, we're going to put this seasoning away. Don't get me wrong, I love porchetta flavored things as well, but I feel like small cuts of meat like this, the porchetta is too spicy for me. The second seasoning that I'm going to use for myself is Lawry's Casero Total Seasoning for cooking and grilling. I really, really enjoy this seasoning on everything. The first time we had this seasoning was actually at my parents' house. My mom had gotten it for some reason, and she didn't really like it. So we tried it and liked it, and I've been using it ever since. All right, let's take this out to the grill. All right, and now we just... All right, everybody, so the last part of our supper we are making is leftover carrots. Now, these carrots were used to make flavor in my bone broth that I made, and I saved them because they were perfectly fine carrots. My husband had this thought today to mash the carrots and, use them similar to you would mashed potatoes, almost as a trick of the mind when you're eating. When you eat low carb, you sometimes need to trick your mind into thinking it's eating things that it may not be eating, because sometimes it's not satisfied. So I am taking my husband's advice, and I'm going to mash these carrots. I am then going to warm them up. I'll probably mash them again. And then, I don't know, we might have to see if we add any cream or butter or anything after that. So stick around and see how this dinner all unfolds and comes together. All right, everybody, so we have our carrots warm. I'm going to mash them again just like they were potatoes. Try to get them a little smoother. We all know hand mashing potatoes doesn't necessarily give you the smoothest potato. I'm also going to get a little butter out of the refrigerator and put some butter in there. So I'm going to put this butter in, let it melt a bit, and I'm going to take you to check on the pork. See how the pork looks. Still sizzling. So how you know a piece of meat is ready to flip is it has released itself from the grate. Otherwise, you fight it, it sticks down. See how this one isn't fully released yet? So we'll leave him here for a little bit. But that's how you know if a steak or pork or whatever you're grilling is ready. All right, so we're back inside. I'm gonna mix this butter into the carrots. I actually am going to microwave these carrots longer because they're kind of cold. So let's take them to the microwave real quick. All right, so we have the carrots here. They're definitely not smooth like mashed potatoes, but they will taste good either way. I was debating adding milk to see if that would make them smooth like potatoes. Could give it a try. I'm just going to add a little heavy cream, see what that does. So it actually does seem to help hold it together a little bit, which is surprising. I've never really had creamed carrots before, but that's kind of what this is. And I didn't season this because it was cooked with all of that goodness that made our chicken broth. I think it definitely needs a little salt and pepper. Just a little. And maybe a little garlic. There we go. All right. So these are done. Our salad is done. Let's go check on that meat. If that's done, let's eat. All right, our meat is looking pretty good. Both sides. Look like they're getting done. I think we'll just leave it a little bit longer. Let that side get a little brown. We might turn the heat up a little bit. But I think we're close. Girls, stay. All right, I can hear them sizzling. Oh yeah, these look done. So I'm gonna pull these off before they get too charcoal. And I'm going to test to make sure that they are done. And I'll show you how I do that. So for me with meat, I know most people do temperatures, but for me, I just cut the meat in the middle and I split it open and I make sure that there's no pink. So let me show you here. So I will do that to both of these big pieces. As well as the little guys. And they all look done. So let's turn off the grill. Turn off the propane. And head on inside. All right, so we are back. We have our meat done. We're going to get a little of our carrots. We're going to get some of our cucumber salad. And we are going to get a steak. My husband said he's not terribly hungry tonight, so I will give him the smaller of his steaks. So this is what we are looking at. All right, everybody, so here we have our meal. We have our pork chops that we grilled, our mashed carrots, as well as our cucumber salad. I'm going to sit down with my husband and enjoy this. This meal is a little more labor intensive, so some families could not swing this meal on a weeknight. Fortunately for our family, my husband and I both get done at 2 o'clock from work. So we are able to make a meal like this work. If it doesn't work for your family, find a way to work for your family. That way you can have a delicious meal at home. If you guys enjoyed what you saw today, please like, please subscribe, send to your friends or family. If you want to keep seeing more videos of me cooking, let me know. If you want to see other videos, leave a comment. Let me know what you want to see, and I will do my best to make some videos for you. I am going to put some links to some other videos that I have made here, so please feel free to go watch them. Hopefully you have enjoyed this. Hopefully you come back. Until next time, have a good day.